Yeah, welcome back to my class again today. Now, in the last class, this was what we actually did, right? And I told you that if you try to access this um, attribute like this, it's going to throw you an error, and we demonstrated it. So today, I want to show you how you can actually access this attribute, even though it is protected, right? We can use what we call name mangling, and that is what I want to show you today. So I will just come here and I will close this. Um, I'll call this. Okay, so I'm just going to use name mangling to access this. And then I will write another method, which is what? A getter method inside this to also be able to access it. So different ways in which you can actually access this attribute. Now, if you look at this now, is class Garden of Eden. Now we define an init method and then we supply the fruit to it. So now we are going to instantiate the class Adam, right? We instantiate the class and then Garden of Eden apple. So I want to access this just the way it is. All I need to do is come here and I say print. Then, because what is happening here is that Python will change the name of this forbidden tree. So when you try to access it from outside, it will tell you it doesn't exist. But how do you do it? Now, how you do it is by saying print, then you say Adam dot, right? And then underscore. You will now call this class, which is what? Garden of Eden. Then you will now access this underscore, underscore, forbidden tree, right? You do this and then you close. Now, through this method that is print Adam dot underscore Garden of Eden, then the double underscore forbidden tree, it will print out apple. It will print out apple. So this is a process of what? Name mangling. So you can see that even though this is protected, Python doesn't actually implement that. It's just a convention. Just to tell other programmers that this is supposed to be a protected attribute. But if they still write a program like this, it's still going to be able to access it. So this is Adam dot underscore, the class name, and then underscore this. This will print out apple. So that is what I want to show you. But I can equally access this again by creating a getter method inside this and then using that getter method to access this. So let me just quickly show you that so that before we go to PyCharm, and then I'll demonstrate both for you. So I can come here. I can come here and define another method, which is what? Def, right? And then I'll say get underscore forbidden. I'll just name it forbidden tree. Or let's call it forbidden fruit. Get underscore forbidden fruit. Then here I will put self. So this is a getter method, but it's an instance method because it's referencing the self, which is what the object that they're going to create. And then what is this? What am I to do with this? I will just say return this, which is what? Self dot double underscore forbidden tree. Right? Now, this is what is to do. So I have created my init method and I have the attribute for the object, which is what? Protected. Now I create a get method And this get method is saying get forbidden fruit. This is the name, which is self, referencing the self. Now, inside it, I'm to return this. So I will now come here and I will instantiate the class. Say Adam, right? And I'll create garden of, can see the way I am naming this, right? It's just a convention. Then here I will supply the apple, right, to it. So the class has been instantiated. Now I want to access this fruit. So what is going to happen is Adam will be given to self, apple will be given to fruit, then you will go in, fruit will now be assigned to forbidden tree. This, like I told you, is the attribute of self, right? So, and this is what encapsulation is all about, which I will still show you as a principle of object-oriented programming. So this apple that is coming from outside is now being given to this attribute. So this object, which is Adam, that has been created for this, is going to store this. This is just, so this is the forbidden tree that is holding this apple, right? Okay, now I want to access it. But if I try to access it directly, it's going to tell me it's not available, it's protected. I'm not going to be able to access it. Now, how do I access it? Using this getter method. So this get forbidden fruit is going to return this. Now, all I need to do is come here and say print. So I'm actually trying to access this from outside the class. So print Adam dot, then I'm going to call this function get underscore forbidden fruit is a function. So you have to put it in, but you have to have that, then this. So if I execute this program, it's going to print out apple. It's going to print out apple. So what will happen is this one is calling this, right? Because this is public. This is a public method. So this is going to call this public method. Then it will go into this public method and it will return this. Since this method is inside the class, this method can access this. So, and this method is public. So I can access this method from outside and then it will access this one. You know, it's just like saying in a family, they tell you that the enemy within, right? This is the concept. So nobody outside will have the opportunity or the right to come into the family to do anything to anybody except somebody in the family open the door. So this method is like is public. So this method is giving access to somebody outside in order to come in and access this attribute. That is basically what this concept is all about, right? So let's go to the PyCharm and let me demonstrate this for you to see. Okay. Now, at this point, let's use name mangling to access it. Now, all I need to do is come here and say underscore garden of Eden, then the double underscore. So when I do this, I'm going to print it out. So with this is name mangling. Because what actually happened initially was that Python changed this, right, to this method, to this way, when you use double underscore, so you cannot access it from outside. But with what I have done now, print Adam dot, calling the class name, and then trying to access this attribute is going to print out apple. So execute. So you see, it printed that apple. So in Python, you are not really implementing that access, which is the protected access or private access. Why? Because there's always a way for you to get through. So it's only left for the programmer not to do this, right? So that is that. Now let's use the getter method to also access it. So I can come here now and then say def get underscore forbidden uh, forbidden fruit. So then I'll put this one as self, and then I'll come here and I will say return this, return self dot underscore forbidden tree. So that is that method. Now I'm instantiating my class. So all I need to do is this one. I'll just come here and I'll say Adam dot get underscore forbidden. This one is fruit method. So this is it. So with this method, get forbidden fruit, right? Self. This is going to return self dot forbidden tree. It's going to return the attribute, this attribute, right, of the object Adam. So once I create this and I assign this apple to this forbidden tree, which is the attribute of Adam, now I am going to try to access it. Adam dot get this forbidden fruit, and then it's going to print out apple for me using the get method. See, it's giving me apple, right? It's going to print out the apple. So the same way that I can get that out. So that is all I want to show you in this class. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you are not following me on my Facebook page, please also do so. And don't forget to give me your comments, your feedback in the comment section. All right, so in the next class, I'm going to show you the getter and the setter method. I've actually brought in the getter method here, but I'm also going to show you I'm going to add the setter method. All right, so till we see in the next class, bye-bye.